Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies. Today we are doing episode 6 of Alien Earth, and it's called The Fly.
Am I supposed to start? Okay,
whatever.
Well, I'm kind of sick and tired of the show. You know, it's not really very interesting. It's just kind of like, okay, you know some people are going to die from the aliens. You know that it's leading to the alien movies we've already seen before. And I don't really care about any of the characters. I don't really like any of the characters. And I don't really like the show anymore at all. So, that's my thoughts about the episode.
Well,
there's just nothing else I could, like, it's like, who cares? Like, it's like, it's just content. It's just, like, it's episode 6, and there's still no hook. There's no hook. There's no, what I mean by hook is, like, there's no actual hook to hook the audience. You know, like, it hasn't hooked me in. It hasn't pulled me in with any interesting idea. You know, it's just kind of like sexless, sterilized Disney slop. And I don't like using the word slop because, you know, there's MCU movies that are, you know, way worse than this. But, like, it's such a ugly show. It's such a dull show. And the characters are so unlikable. You know, they're all a bunch of Disney adults. And so, it just, to me, it's like, it reminds me of Halloween, but I'll say that I love the Halloween series except for the newest trilogy, the Blumhouse trilogy. I despise that. But the Halloween franchise is similar in that it just feels like they've milked everything out of that franchise and they've just sucked the life and energy out of it, and they just keep going back over and over and over again. And just, they keep on doing the same old things, and, you know, it's just not new, it's not interesting, it doesn't feel fresh, it doesn't feel interesting or anything, and that's what this feels like. It just feels like the same old shit over and over and over again. And I'm sick of the show so badly. And then it's also rushed, too, so you can't even really enjoy what's going on because they're just rushing through everything. In fact, there's one storyline where I think they've just basically dropped the storyline, and that's the one where the curly hair girl, she was jealous of Wendy and she wants Mark Zuckerberg to like her. And that storyline has just kind of been dropped. And then the whole thing with the nipply girl, I'll call her Nipple Face.
her name is Nibs.
Well, I'll call
N-I-B,
her,
as in bear.
I'll call her Nipple Face. Her story is just kind of stupid and dumb, and it's already basically done. It was, like, I thought there was some kind of freaky sci-fi thing going on, like, oh, is she pregnant? Is she, like, what's going on with her? Is she transforming into something? Like, is this going to be some sort of really interesting thing? Oh, no. She just has PTSD. She just is upset about her fifis because she's a Disney adult.
No,
and she can't handle anything.
The woman scientist who reminds me of that Ghislaine Maxwell, and it kind of irritates and drives me crazy. Sylvia, that's her name. She said, and it was like 1 or 2 lines, and then nothing else was said about it. And the thing is, she caused a problem with her, and apparently, I mean, they all realized that incident on that spaceship gave her, like what Marco said, like a PTSD thing. And she said something that was in her past when she was a human was very upsetting and traumatic. It was something really bad.
Oh no!
She implied, but nothing else. So my God, your imagination is,
it just kind of went in all
unlimited.
It just went in one ear and out the other. I don't really care.
Well, so anyway,
there's nothing actually interesting going on with her character. It's just like, oh yeah, she's upset, so we gotta wipe her memory and her we gotta brainwash her. We gotta wipe away her her most recent memories, and that's basically it. And so that ended that storyline.
Well, there's not.
They
Wait
built
a minute, Marco.
They built it. Oh, no. Let me finish, because you. And that's the thing too. When I do these reviews, Safi never lets me finish. She just keeps on interrupting every fucking thing I say.
Okay.
And so then I have to wait like 10 minutes and then go back and finish my point like 10 minutes later. So trying to finish my point fucking finally.
Oh boy.
This number one, this ended the storyline, like they built up the storyline like 3 episodes ago, and now it's just done. And then you come to find out this whole storyline is basically nothing but a plot device and a reason for Wendy to not want to be in the island anymore, and for her to be upset about how they're treating the synths. And so basically the whole thing is just a plot contrivance. There's nothing actually interesting going on with her character. There's no kind of horror sci-fi thing. It was just like, oh yeah, well the Disney adults' fifis are hurt, so we have to wipe her mind because she can't handle it. You know, she's got to watch Teletubbies all day. And so it just sucks. This show just sucks the big one. Last episode was okay, but this show, I have graded every episode of this fucking season on a curve, because this show is just so mediocre and so lame. It's so pretentious. It's so full of itself. I just can't stand this shit. It's just the worst. It's just a bunch of slop. Well,
I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything. I'm afraid now.
Well, I finished my point, so now you can talk.
Okay, well, anyway, the husband scientist, Sylvia and I don't know his name, but Sylvia and her husband were in charge. One of the duties was in charge of the synths and doing everything related to them. And he rejected erasing her these memories. And he just didn't think it was right. He thought it could do more damage later on, which nobody knows what that means, and he doesn't clarify it. But his wife, what happens is that guy a bald guy, and he's always wearing a suit. His name is Adam Ein or something, which I'm like, is that a mistake? So I'm just calling him that bald guy. He is the one that said, yes, you have to erase her memories. And he said he refuses. And he said, okay, you're fired. And so he's going to get ready to leave, and he doesn't understand why his wife is on board with that. And she's just like that Ghislaine Maxwell, and so, oh yeah, well, I'm going to do it. And so that happens, and she wakes up, and Wendy's sitting by her bed, and she finds out, she figures it out. Her memories have been erased, because I guess, I didn't realize this, but I guess the two scientists weren't the only ones that knew that she thought she was pregnant. Wendy knew it too. And she said, the last time I talked with you, you said you were pregnant. She said, I don't know what you're talking about. And so, she said, you remember on the ship when, or she tried to, and she found out she didn't know what she was talking about. So she knew her memory had been erased. So she confronts Sylvia, and she's like questioning, like, what the hell is going on? Why are you're treating us like nothing? And so, anyway, so you have that little confrontation and problem, because Wendy's pissed off now and like disillusioned, and because Joe has been putting her, I'd really like to take you away from here, and are you safe here? And so she's got that in her mind too. So she's got this big dilemma starting to blossom in her head. And then, so anyway, that Nibs, that girl, she's like thinking, what happened to all my memories of what's going on? She's like bewildered, and then you don't really hear anything else. So then you go on. Now we got another problem. The husband, he's been fired. And the wife Sylvia's like, oh, well, bye, and she'll probably never see him again. And so he's packing up. And what was it that slightly goes in to talk to him, and then he figures out that the synth that's been assisting Hirsch, and I don't know his name.
Hirsch.
No, not Hirsch. The simp.
Hirsch.
The guy.
You're saying Hirsch.
Kirsch. I'm sorry. Kirsch is on his way back from a meeting with Yutani.
And I guess we'll just like regurgitate what happened the whole
Well,
episode
anyway,
instead of reviewing it.
so
So
he
that
gets-
and there's also like a meeting. There's a big meeting scene. You have Mark Zuckerberg, and then you have the Japanese lady.
Yutani.
And it's just, again, it's like, okay, Mark Zuckerberg is bad. He's like Peter Pan, and Peter Pan was always the bad guy because, you know, men bad, women good.
Well,
and,
the whole through the whole episode, he reads little excerpts from the book Peter Pan.
Yeah, we have to listen to Peter Pan in the episode.
Constantly kind of underlining what's going on.
It's so pretentious. It's just so, like, I just can't stand this masturbatory shit. I just hate it. I hate it so badly.
Well, a lot of questions watching this episode, a lot of questions just kept popping up for me. And that is, why does Yutani want those aliens so bad?
I don't even care.
And
Because
why
she owns them. Because she owns them. That's why.
It's just as simple as that.
Well, I mean,
And why does
it is in terms of, you know, the law, and in terms of, like, you know, they're her thing, so.
and why does Wonder
Yeah.
Boy, what does he want? What is his, I mean, it's just like he really doesn't have a plan.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
he did want those, and he was on board with that guy. Like, do we know who approached whom first?
No.
Did the guy on board who did the sabotage, did he approach Cavalier first, or was it the other way around? And so anyway, you've got this thing where it's just like Cavalier has moved on. It's like he's so childish and immature. He's like, this thing with the aliens, it's just a joke to him. And it's like, well, he has this big simp project. They're supposed to be announcing that what they did with them, and it's a big success, and they're doing more work with them, and they could be something special for the future of the Neverland, or for the planet, or whatever. And right now, it's just like it's all about the aliens that are on board his ship. So, but in the meantime, so they're away from the Neverland. They're at this meeting, and he acts immature. Like I said, his feet are always bare. That's symbolic of something negative, of course. And
Well, it's not really negative. It's
yes, it is. It's disgusting.
It's a good thing. That's natural.
Well, it's not natural to slop his feet up on the table and fool with his toes. I mean, it was just so. I mean, maybe I wasn't eating my dinner, but it made me ill, sick to my stomach, and then he was just, and he wears these big. I even have a couple of them. They're like a Mexican big.
Safi, we see certain people pick their ears and eat their earwax, and pick their nose and eat their boogers. And
Okay, Marco.
I'm just saying, there's a lot worse things than putting your feet up on the table.
Well, I don't.
Like,
I thought
they're
it was
not
just,
going to eat on the table. It's just a stupid meeting.
It's just I don't like it. I don't like it, and he's just so full of himself and disgusting. But so they get done with the meeting, and they have this big go around with who owns those aliens and what he is going to pay her for him or something, whatever. And so they leave, but it's a little ways back, and so those creatures that are in that lab, they have to be fed. So Kirsch allows his assistant Neff to do it, and he goes by himself. And of course, we all know that something's going to happen before it happens. We don't know how it's going to happen, but we know it's going to happen. And I have questions from that, though. The fact is, it's just almost like a prison, because they kind of, well, at least the ones they show, they have like this little cupboard door, and they open it and they slide the tray of food in, and then they shut the little door, and somehow the food goes in the room, the jail cell, and the door gets ripped off, and I'm like, well, right away, how can these sophisticated lab of the future door just come off like that? I'm like, how in the heck? I mean, how convenient. Talk about a plot convenience. And then the Sif is not a living being.
Yeah.
He gets killed by the aliens that are these flying things.
Yeah,
they call it the fly.
Yeah, so...
How? How does he get killed? I don't get that.
I gotta say, I really don't like these other aliens. The only one I kind of like is the eyeball. But, you know, somebody on social media brought up a really, really interesting and good point to why I'm really becoming less and less interested with these new alien shows and movies, is that, you know, the older alien movies, they had a lot of subtext. They had a lot of deeper meanings. They had a lot of, you know, sexual themes and things to do with that nature. And these modern movies and shows, you know, they've completely taken that out of the picture. And, you know, in the movie, there was no excuse. You know, like, all the characters were, you know, over 18. And, you know, we didn't even see any nudity or anything. You know, it's just completely taken out of it because it's like the people who make it, they have this superficial, surface level understanding of like what that stuff is. Like, they don't even think about like what it actually is, or any of the art or anything. The original Alien art by the H.R. Geiger guy, and then this show, it's almost like they went out of their way to make it so that, well, we're gonna make all the characters children on the inside, so we can't sexualize them at all, even though the actors are all adults. And then also, we're going to make all these new aliens who don't have any type of like sexual subtext to them, so that we can completely take all that out of the picture. And so to me, it just feels like, why would you want to watch a show where it's not the actual alien, like, it's not the substance of what Alien and Aliens is supposed to be? Like, why would you want to watch an alien movie without the core stuff of what the art is supposed to be like? Like, this isn't just, you know, Fargo dipshit showrunner's original show. This is somebody else's universe. This is somebody else's work, and he took that and he said, I'm going to take everything out of it that made the originals good and made them scary and made them intelligent and mature, and I'm going to make a show about Disney adults. And I'm going to have this boring alien. It's like a fly, and it shoots juices at you. And it's just kind of like that dinosaur from Jurassic Park, you know, the one that shoots acid at you or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but it's a stupid fly, and it's computer generated. That looks trash. I hate it. It's terrible. But, like, they kept it, and Safi, you can talk. I just want to say one last thing. They built up in suspense for all these episodes, like, there's a fourth alien. Is this alien? Really? Well, yeah, because they said there's 4 alien species, and they didn't reveal the 4th one until this episode. They titled the whole episode off of this alien.
The fly.
It is just like the lamest thing I've ever seen. Like, it's so bad. Like, I hate to sound like that comic book nerd from The Simpsons, but, you know, that's all I would describe it as, is lame. Remember that, Safi? That comic book guy? Lame. Now, what do you have to say about it?
It really is. It's almost like a repeat of all the other Alien movies, but they have all these little. It's almost kind of like doing embroidery work. You put these extra little. Figures. You embroidery all these extra little figures on what's already the original canvas. to add these different, I don't know,
touches,
storylines and touches, but it's really the same thing because all of the aliens get loose in this episode. Have we seen that before?
Yeah.
And the guy, because the guy was leaving, the husband scientist slightly, was it that slightly went up to him and was talking to him, and he said, I think he was asking about the simps. And
no. Well, I'll explain it, but first I'd also like to add, it also reminds me, we've been doing a lot of reviews of pizza places, and, we really should try a new pizza place this week, but we don't want to because DiGiorno's is good enough. But, that's what it's been like. It's like we go to another pizza place like Little Caesars or Marion's or, all these pizza places, and you just go there and you're like, okay, it's pizza. How is this going to be, the greatest pizza ever? It's just pizza. And it's that's what the show is. It's it's just pizza. And it's just another version of pizza. And this show is the worst kind of pizza. Because it's the kind where they take all the pizza out of it and they just hand you a pile of shit. And so, what happens, though, is that while the guy is talking to Joe and telling him to escape with his sister, and then he turns off the trackers, he accidentally discovers, and I kind of like that scene, actually, he accidentally discovers that one of the synths, their vitals are, down. And so he has to go down to the lab to see what happened.
Well, and he cares about them, too.
Yeah.
So, because that was the thing. He didn't want to erase that girl's memory because he really cares about them. And his wife, I don't know what she cares about. She's like somebody else I already mentioned. So.
Well, she's just kind of boring. She's like an NPC. And he goes down to the laboratory and he gets trapped in there accidentally. And the Indian guy traps him in there and then.
Slightly.
Well, I don't care.
I see. So it was Joe that went up to him and said, "Is my sister safe?"
Yeah.
And that's why he started checking on all the simps.
Don't you remember that? Safi watched this in the early morning.
I watched it between 12:30 at night until 1:30 in the morning.
It's not a good idea.
I might have done it from 1:30 to 2:30 and watched Lawrence O'Donnell first.
It just shows how much we don't care. Like with Dexter, that's the thing about Dexter. Is that when that show came out, I was like, I can't wait to watch Dexter. I'm going to get lunch, and I'm going to watch Dexter, or I'm going to watch it in the evening when I'm having really good dinner that I cooked because I'm really good at cooking everything. But, with shows that, we don't like, it feels like a chore that we have to watch it, and so it's let's just get it over with. That's what Safi said before we started this video. She said, let's get it over with. Because it's just such a shitty show.
Well, I wouldn't call it a shitty show, but
really,
it seems to be the same old.
Yeah, that's
the problem. Remember, I said it was kind of like adding embroidery work to a piece of denim. Denim pants.
I just hate how pretentious it is. The pretentiousness really, really takes me out of it. I really don't like how they took all of the sexual subtext out of it. And then I really don't like the characters. So it's just what's there to like? There's a couple of scenes I liked. I like that Safi didn't mention there's an elevator scene between the two cyborgs. And that was good. That was a pretty good scene. It was kind of tense.
I haven't gotten to that yet.
Well, that was near the beginning. That was after the meeting. So.
Yeah, you're right. Because they were both Morrow and Kirsch were at this meeting between Yutani and the Boy Wonder. There was more than just those two. I'm sorry I didn't. But of course there would be. They have assistants.
Yeah.
With them, of course they would be there.
Or else Mark Zuckerberg, he would probably crawl on the table and just start like monkey slapping the Japanese woman. You know,
He did crawl up on the table.
No. I mean, he would crawl over to her and just start monkey slapping her. You know, just like da, 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 da. You know, and she'd be like, "What the fuck?" And she'd probably stab him with those. What are those like? What or no, a fan? You know, like a Japanese fan. She'd take that out and just stab him in the eyeball
or slap him with it.
That
she deserves it because he's a dipshit.
That could be like a Simpsons scene, like a cartoon scene, like, you know, a parody of the episode.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty hilarious.
Of course. Well, so yeah, there's that, and that did happen before this. But another little embroidery crinkle on this was that, you know, after that elevator scene, Kirsch had to tell the synth that to feed the creatures because it's going to be a while before they get back. And but the thing is, while they were on the spacecraft on the way back, Kirsch saw everything that happened, every single thing. He's everything. It's on his little computer he has with him, and his phone or whatever.
He's not fazed by any of it. He's just kind of like, oh, whatever.
Well, all these people on the internet are saying that he wants to take over. I don't know that. I'm not going to say that as my opinion because I don't know that. I have no idea. But that was another question I had, because the boy wonder asked him, "Is there anything wrong?" Nope, there's nothing wrong, and all the creatures are loose in the lab, and everybody who's there is in danger because apparently they can kill synths, which I don't get that. They're not human.
Why would they want to?
That's right.
Anyway.
Why would they want to? They're not human.
Yeah.
What are they feasting on? Chemical blood? I mean, that was what was coming out of the guy's head. A white liquid, like he's a machine.
Yeah.
But they were eating his face all up. That's what I mean. It brings up so many questions. And so, I mean, it's just like, well, I'm just going to let it play out.
And also, you know, Safi's not really giving it enough criticism, because you could also say this kind of takes away the interest in the realism and the uniqueness of the story, because if synth can just be killed by these aliens, and it's just the aliens for some reason want to kill the synths and they can do it pretty easily, then what makes this any different than if this were a show about human characters?
Well, yeah, that's right. That's right. But you've got to remember, way back a few episodes ago, I think it was before they boarded the ship that had the aliens, somebody said that they weren't in danger because of what they were. Remember that?
Yeah.
Somebody said that. So how did that guy get killed if he wasn't in danger?
Yeah.
And why did he get killed? Why would they go after a non-living being and eat it all up? Eat his face up?
Maybe there will be some kind of stupid explanation.
I don't know. I can't even imagine it. It's so nitpicky, I guess.
No, it's not. It's a major thing, because
it doesn't make sense to me.
It just makes the show feel like any other alien movie or show. You know, like you go through the motions. You had look, there are these aliens and they're kind of scary. And what are they doing? Oh, let's study them a little bit. And then, they get loose, they kill everyone. There's a final girl, and, you know, men bad, women good. And, you know, that's an alien movie. But, like, that's... and then, of course, you have, look, they're cyborgs, and they can be bad, or they can be rogue. Oh, look, it's an alien movie. Like, all the things that are making this show unique are, like, the pretentious Peter Pan shit, and the fact that the characters are Disney adults. Like, those are the only things that are unique about the show, I guess. Like, I just...
Who wrote Peter Pan? That wasn't Robert Louis Stevenson, was it?
A really good, smart writer.
I'm just curious.
I don't know.
I'll have to look it up. Another thing.
Someone who knew what he was doing. Like, I wish that, like, they would use the technology to reanimate these old artists, because they could make such better art, and I bet all of their art would be original. I bet they wouldn't say... I bet the guy who wrote Peter Pan originally, if you brought him back to life, I don't think he'd write Peter Pan a remake. I think he'd write something completely new, and I bet it would feel like it was written by an adult, whereas this show just feels like it's like a pretentious college or teenage fan fiction of like Alien. And it's such an ugly show. It's so ugly. Everything about it is so ugly. They have some interesting shots here and there, but it's so ugly. The color grading, that is. Like, that's what... And, yeah, I don't know.
The thing is, though, that... So, the scientist goes back there. He finds out the synth has been killed, and he's horrified. And why does he do this? He wants to go... He tries to go in there.
Yeah.
In fact, he does something on the computer that allows him to gain access because you can't get in there or something. And, of course, guess who sees him do the code and how to get in there? Slightly.
It reminded me of that scene from Spider-Man where, Green Goblin...
in the museum?
No.
Oh.
Where the Green Goblin, he just took the serum or the gas, and he's all strapped in, and his assistant, he panics when he starts shaking and convulsing, and then he goes up to him, and he takes off his restraints, and he's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And then the guy just wakes up and grabs him by the neck, and he says, "Back to formula!" He just throws him against the wall and kills him brutally off camera. Like, that's what it was like. It was just like, this is like a typical like horror movie scene where the guy does something stupid. And it also was kind of weird because the way that they did it was like they were trying to like emulate like slaughterhouses, kind of like with the way like the doors opening and closing and people getting trapped in. It was like a slaughterhouse type of thing. And
he slightly not closes the door on him.
Yeah.
He can't get out. And guess what? The egg that they have, the living egg that you know what's going to happen, the face hugger pops up and he slams onto the scientist's face. And so what does Slightly do? And this is odd. Because he solved code, he opens the door, drags, but he opens all the doors, and he drags the scientist out and puts him in this cubby hole in there. I guess it's in the lab.
No, it's a vent.
Oh, it's a vent. Okay.
He went inside the vent and escaped with the body.
And he's not dead,
yeah.
But he's,
Well, he's got to take
he's
him.
going to be good.
He's got to take him to Morrow.
No, he's going to take him to him.
That's the point.
And, anyway, so, but the thing is, Kirsch has seen all of this.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh.
Nothing's going on. Nothing happened. Everything's fine. But, he says it like a robot. Everything's fine.
What I took it as was that, in a weird way, because I don't know. I don't know. I don't really care. But I took it as like, oh, maybe he wanted that guy to get killed or something. I don't
he just
know.
doesn't care.
I don't know.
I just don't think he cares.
He's just like, oh.
He doesn't care about anybody. But I don't think he's as evil as... He can't. He doesn't have the... That's another thing. It's a contradiction. Because Morrow is the same as he is. Only it sounds like he might be a little more advanced based on their conversation in the elevator. But still, they shouldn't have any feelings about anything. They're not human. They're cyborgs.
Yeah.
And so, Kirsch exemplifies that. He doesn't care about anybody. He just does the job. And whenever somebody says something stupid or acts stupid, he calls them out. With logic. Like Data from Star Trek.
There was also a scene, I guess this is the last thing before we give it a grade, and then we go do more important things with their lives, this the last scene I guess we could talk about is that you gotta come up with some kind of rhyme nickname for her, like something windy, like bendy windy or twisty windy or something, like just something that sounds really funny, but like nipply or nipple faced. Wendy has a little scene where she confronts the scientist, the woman scientist, and it's such a pretentious scene because number one, it was just kind of like, oh, okay, here's a girl boss scene where like the final girl chastises people and judges them and tells them that they're humans are stupid, humans are bad, blah blah blah. And it just felt like I'm seeing through it as like the human writer writing the show. He wrote that scene and he's writing this just cringeworthy speech where it's like, humans are bad and I don't want to be like humans. I don't want to be like you.
Well, the thing is, Joe...
it's so gay.
Joe had asked her, he wants to take her away from there.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't... Well, he thinks because she's his, quote, sister, that he needs to, like, they need to be together. And,
yeah.
And I don't think he thinks they're going to... Because they've basically hijacked him to stay there by threatening him with having to pay a bunch of money for his lung, which it was a blackmail. He realizes they're not very nice people, and she says, well, what if I don't want to leave? And so here she had a little heart-to-heart with Joe about her wanting to be there, wanting to stay, and who they are, or who she is, what they are, etc., etc. But then she finds out about what these scientists did to her fellow synth, and she's very angry and realizes that they're not as good as she thought they were, that they're not as meaningful or helpful, or they're not serving her best interest, maybe. So that was and so she's questioning that whole thing by questioning what she did with that girl's memory.
And I don't really, I mean, that whole thing, honestly, like, I don't know what they were supposed to do with that girl. She,
I don't see they're going, unless something happens in the final scenes where...
I don't know.
I don't see any of that story advancing.
There's 2 episodes left.
I know. There's 2 more episodes left. Yeah. They are going to have to shove and cram all this information into 2 episodes. So what's going to happen? A bunch of people are going to get killed.
It's going to be like Fargo.
It's going to be like every other alien show.
Yeah.
I betcha. I mean, I don't know what the real deal is, but I mean, it's turning out to be that way.
I don't know next episode because I saw the trailer. Safi didn't see the trailer, but it was just a lot of dialogue again. It was just a lot of dialogue. They're not going to do anything to give because there's only 2 episodes left. Well, I mean, but like, I don't know.
Well, whatever. I think we should just finish. There's nothing more to say. It just seems like it's following, except for these little ornamentations, these little embroidery flowers that they're planting all around, these little decorations that of plot, okay? That it's just like every other alien movie, really, except it's less about the humans and more about the simps.
The Disney adults, yeah.
And the cyborgs. So we'll see who lives and who dies. And they've got to shove all this crap now into the next 2 episodes, which that's the thing.
And you know what else that means, too?
What?
Both the episodes will be an hour long.
Yeah.
So they'll be really long and drawn out and won't be able to enjoy it. So what would you rate this episode?
Well, it just left me with questions. I guess I'll give it a C+.
I give it a D.
Maybe I'll give it a C.
I give it a D.
I hate to put any pluses on it. I didn't totally dislike it, but I do, the thing is they're contradicting themselves. because if you look at this one thing where, why did the simp get killed? And they're feeding on it. What are they feeding on? It's not a human. They're not humans. And they weren't supposed to be in danger. That's what I gathered from what they said a few episodes ago. That's why they weren't so hesitant about letting them board that ship. Because you knew, because of what we saw last episode, the boy Wonder knew those things were on board. He knew about them because he had talked to the saboteur, right? Yeah. So he sent them aboard because he was confident, because of how they were put together, and that they weren't going to get killed. And so here we go. There's a major part of this episode, and Kirsch is watching and saying everything's fine. I mean, all the aliens were let go. They were running around in the place. So everybody in that whole development, or what, I don't know what you want to call it, they're all in danger because he can kill Simp, or they can kill Simps. So it just left me with so many more questions, and
I just
what
say
would you call it, incongruity?
We could conclude that this is not a good adaptation of Peter Pan.
Yeah. It makes. I'm going to look up, though, who wrote, and I'm sure one of you out there who's a reader, but I've never read Peter Pan. I've just seen the movies.
Safi doesn't read, she...
That's not true. I've been reading.
She grew up watching TV. She even wrote her memoir, and her memoir is called Too Much TV.
He's a liar.
So she has still not learned to read.
He's lying. I've been reading, and orange-faced POS, if he can't read, he can listen to books, but he can't train his mind on any, he can't focus on anything. But I've read a book this week. I'm 3/4 way through another one, and I'm reading another one. I'm halfway through, and I turned in that Stephen King Never Flinch book, which is a sequel to Holly, which is a really good book, and I've been recommending it, and I'm saying it's really good. You should read it. But the one before it and the one after it, they're not as good. So just, it's up to you, but don't bother. That one is good, though, Holly. So anyway, I'll just give it a C, and I'm going to look up Peter Pan, who wrote it.
And I'll say this, too. I'd like to enjoy the show, but again, it's just bad. And it's not getting better. It's not getting worse. It's just the same as it was last week and the week before. And, it's just really frustrating because, you guys know, like, when I review a good show like Dexter, I really enjoy it. It's a fun review. But when we have to review this shitty show that, like, nobody likes, it's just like every week is like a torture experiment. And I don't know. I'm excited for all these TV shows to be over. Like, I think what I'm going to do, too, is, because I don't know if I'll finish that Office spinoff, or force Safi to finish it, because I didn't like the first episode at all. But I think what I'm going to do from now on is, like, I'm just going to watch one episode and review it. And if I really like it, I'm interested in reviewing the rest, then I'll watch and review the rest. But if it's like this show, where they couldn't even... I still don't even know what the show's about. I still don't know the main hook of the show. I still don't know, like, you can't summarize the show. Like, there's too many plots. There's too many characters. You can't say, like, oh, well, this is a show about this. This is a show about that. There's no story. It's just stuff happening, and it's Peter Pan, and who gives a shit? Like, it's just terrible. And so I think that's what we should do now. What do you think about that, Safi? Because, that Office spinoff, I'm tempted to try to watch it to see if it's good. Because I really like The Office, the original show. I don't like the
spinoff. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Safi watched the first episode after I did.
I've written for the newspaper, not as an employee at the paper, but as a freelance writer, and it really depresses me. So I've been thinking about doing it again, because I do come across stories all the time, but I don't know if anybody even reads it. I mean, because really, basically, they are serving. I mean, we used to have it delivered every day, but we're not in that position anymore. We're living in an apartment, so I just discontinued. I have it online, though, but that's what people, I think, they sell to more as online customer. Anyway, I don't like it because it's depressing. And it's uninteresting. It's not funny at all. I didn't laugh at all. And I've been watching old episodes of Monk, and almost every one, some are better than others, of course, but I laugh. They're funny almost all the way through.
And that's something else about these episodes that we like, these older episodes, is that you can go back and rewatch them. Like, I could go back and rewatch the new Dexter season and enjoy it, but shows like this, it's like we're just watching it to watch it and review it. So what do you think about, watching one or two episodes and reviewing that, and then if we don't like it enough, we don't have to review it? Because I think we could have just as easily, with this shitty show, we could have just as easily just watched all the episodes as they came out, and then at the very end did a season 1 review. Like, instead of having to, do a review every week of a shitty show,
I don't know.
What do you
I'd
think
have to
about
think
that?
about it.
Because that's what I'm going to do with Wednesday. Like, the first half, I reviewed episode by episode. I wanted to take my mini microscope and just swallow it so I could just end watching Wednesday forever. But, with the second half, I'm not going to review each episode. I'm just going to watch them all and try to get through it and then review it as a whole and never watch the show again.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'll do.
It's a possibility.
Because, I'd rather watch stuff that we enjoy. Or, at the very least, it has to be fun. This show isn't fun to review.
It's just kind of depressing because of all the things they talk about.
Wednesday's not fun either, by the way.
What?
Wednesday's not fun to review either, by the way, because the first season was really good, and they took fucking 3 years to make 8 measly episodes, and it's so rushed and it's so bad, and Jenna overrated Ortega. She's just, every single thing she's in is terrible, and you gotta wonder why, why is that? And she's touted as some sort of a modern master actress, but every show that she's in is terrible. So it's just kind of depressing.
I don't know. I haven't watched any Wednesday episode, but I'm glad that it's been affecting the things that you can buy at the store for Halloween, or special meals or drinks at the fast food places, because it's at least for Halloween is a really fun holiday, and so they can kind of incorporate that into their sales. I like that, so that's fun. I haven't watched it all, so I can't really say.
There's 2 other TV shows coming up really quickly before we wrap things up. The first one, there's going to be an Ed Gein show.
What's all that?
It's a mainstream propaganda show, and it's by Ryan Murphy, so he's just going to make everything gay. And make it so that,
God.
they had a poster, Ed Gein's, shirtless, and he has, these big muscles, so it's
What?
they're gonna,
It's not like that at all.
They're gonna romanticize Ed Gein and make him look...
Oh, my God.
Make him look like a hunk and, just sexualize it, because...
He's not a hunk at all.
I like it when, movies and TV shows are sexualized, but it's why are you sexualizing serial killers? And it just... I hate it. And so I don't want to review that, but I might review it to make fun of it, but I don't want to. I really don't want to. I didn't review the Menendez brothers last year, so I don't want to do this one either. Safi probably wants to, though, because she loves
And
it.
I've forgotten about it. I just saw one little thing about it.
I should show Safi that. And you know what else is strange? The guy from The Gentleman with the beard, he's the one playing Ed Gein.
The Scottish guy?
The bearded guy. You know, the guy with the beard, the trimmed beard. You know, Charlie Hunnam. He's playing Ed Gein. He doesn't fit the character. You know, they're gonna romanticize him and make him look attractive because it's Ryan Murphy and he just wants to make everything gay. And then also there's gonna be an It show coming out called Welcome to Derry or something. And I'm actually excited about that.
I haven't seen anything about that either.
They actually have a plan to have like 4 or 5 seasons, and each season is going to take place in a different decade. And so I'm actually really excited about that. But other than that, these TV shows are bad, and we're tired of TV shows. Like, we haven't been able to review like any movie because like we have to review all these stupid TV shows that we don't care about or like.
It's the fall season. That's what you do. That's what they do. It's been like that for a million years.
Well, that's not what we're going to be doing. So
since I was a kid.
Safi, talk about the Patreon and say,
okay, look.
Say join Patreon, and that's it.
Okay, Marco would like to implore people to consider joining our Patreon. We have 3 levels, and the bonus or the plus of it, the advantage to doing this is to get inside content about the projects, the movie and film projects he's working on. So I believe a lot of the content will be related to that. So you can actually see what he's up to. And so there's 3 levels, so...
Oh, and we're going to have bonus reviews, too. So, like, movie reviews, TV reviews, video game videos, all sorts of crap.
And I don't really play those kinds of video games.
But Safi will be playing video games now.
No,
it's going to be really fun.
I don't...
People love it.
I only like certain...
People really love it.
They like to make fun of a 70-year-old woman playing a video game.
No, they like to see you try to play the game because they want to see you get better and see you succeed.
No, they don't. Nobody cares about that.
Yeah, we got 7 subscribers last year because we you know, I have a way to tell what videos get subscribers. We got 7 subscribers from a video game video where Safi was playing.
Somebody to laugh at because
no, they want you to succeed.
I used to play computer games. Like, I don't know if any of you remember Shivers. I played both of those. Those were really, really good.
Well, you can pretend that it's Shivers. You can pretend that it's Shivers.
There's some really good old video games that I played, but
there is a part.
I don't like these. I don't know what they are like. The war ones.
You're gonna have to do it.
You're
gonna have to power through.
Ill.
There are parts of these games that feel like Shivers. In fact, I was thinking of a part in the most recent game I just beat. It reminded me of a computer game puzzle, and the animations of like picking things up and things, it even looked like a computer game. It was very strange, and I was like, oh, this is weird. This is like something Safi would like, and so she probably will like it. But anyways, you guys should join our Patreon. The link is in the description. If you don't, you're a square.
No,
and then,
you don't have to do that. But if you want to see what he's up to, I would encourage it.
Well, there's going to be tons of stuff on there.
You won't find out what he's doing until it's done. And I guess maybe you might need proof so that he's doing something. So maybe he should put something on for everybody to see, and then they might be more encouraged to join the Patreon?
Because that's not what all Patreon is about. Patreon is just a way to, do what we're doing on this channel, but to get something out of it more than, views and likes and subscribers.
I try not to have anything to do with it except I might help, like, get the costumes or, the clothing, the wardrobe, pick it out. And find locations, but I don't have anything to do with writing, or I might help with. I've helped with the filming a little bit. I don't enjoy that because he's really picky, and he's hard to deal with. And only he knows what he wants. I mean, really, nobody knows what he wants other than him. So
God,
Safi! I'm not.
God!
I don't feel comfortable filming for him because he gets mad at me and he crabs at me.
No, I just have Safi do it over and over again until she gets it right, and
I'm really nervous. I get nervous.
It has worked out very well, like
I guess.
I've gotten all the shots that I needed, and that's all that's important is that I get what I need at Safi's expense.
Yeah, really. Okay, so we have to end this video. So if you liked it, give it a thumbs up and become one of our subscribers just for fun. So goodbye, everybody.
Bye.